Hello, me hotties and Dinky-Doo. It's just me, Scottie McClue. A very, very good morning to you. A very good Saturday morning to you. The time is just coming up to 11:45, 10:45. Well, it's just 10:44 now, but it'll be coming up very soon to 10:45 on Saturday morning, the 16th of September. 2023, and a very, very good morning to you, and a very warm welcome to Scottie McClue live this morning. This is what we call a random pop-up. So tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 and come and join us. Scottish GT, how lovely of you to join us. Scottish GT says, how are you, Scottie? Can you say Dinky-Doo, Scottie McClue? I can always say Dinky-Doo, Scottie McClue. Morning, Scottie, says Aidan. Good morning, Aidan. How lovely to have you with us, and a very, very warm welcome this morning. Morning, Scottie. Morning, Martin. Marvellous. Martin has just popped up on the YouTube channel there. We're also streaming live on YouTube. So that's another way you can thoroughly enjoy Scottie McClue. Good morning to every single one of you, I say. Hashtag FlowTie, the first lord of the internet, the world's top broadcaster, and of course the world's most humble man. Hi from Ireland. Hello there, Fruge. Dinky-Doo, lovely to have you with us. Morning, Scottie. Dinky-Doo. Morning, Donny. And Argyle has joined us now. Guys, do tell us where you're watching from. That makes it far more interesting, and it's lovely to share it with everybody who's watching. If you've just joined us, make sure that you follow me on TikTok and subscribe on the YouTube. Otherwise, what are you doing on the internet? The internet is designed so that you can get in touch with me, Scottie McClue. There we are. A Dinky-Doo, I say to you, watching from Turkey. Lovely to have you with us, Selena, in Turkey, and Dinky-Doo to everybody in that stunningly beautiful country. I'm watching from Aberdeen, says Argyle, for Aberdeen, Argyle, and fit like you. Foujo do's the day. Morning, Scottie, says the wonderful Alan McGee. Morning, Alan. Ahoy, Scottie, says the wonderful Frank McElroy. Dinky-Doo. Radio station doing well, mate. Seems to be doing very well, Martin. Excellent, thank you. So there we have it. Jokes about white sugar are rare, right? Now, jokes about brown sugar, demerara. We love it. I thank you, JD. From Johannesburg, Faye, we love you watching in Joburg right now. Lovely to have you with us. Are you having a braai? Tell us more about that in South Africa. How lovely to have you with us. And welcome, welcome to everybody worldwide. What radio are you on, Scottie? Well, Alan, it's still a close secret. I can't say too much at the moment. I know that one I'm not on apparently folded this week. And I was so sorry to hear about that. So there we go. You're no Scottish, you act English. No, what you mean is I act Scottish, but no, I am Scottish. I'm very, very, very Scottish. So there you are. And I don't act English at all. What would acting English be? Tell us more about that. Dinky-Doo, Scottie Graham. How lovely to have you with us, and a massive Dinky-Doo. So what have we got here? You're looking really well, Scottie. Frank, thank you very much. We're always well when we're popping up live, talking to not just one nation, but every nation. Wonderful Frank McElroy. And Frank is a master baker. So there you go. He's just in from the bakery. There we have it. Dinky-Doo, I say to you. Come and join us as soon as you possibly can, guys. Has everybody watching followed? No. Right. That's terrible. If you're watching right now, you have no excuse not to follow. No excuse at all. Because it is the world's top talk show. You're looking at Scottie McClue live. England 3, Scotland 1, God Save the King. Yes. Well, God Save the King is the Scottish national anthem. So there you have it. So we share that, you see. It's the British national anthem. And because of the Union of the Crowns in 1603, it is axiomatically, there's one for you, the Scottish national anthem. You can hear the Scottish accent, says Mandy. Of course, Mandy. The guy was a dafty. There we are. All right, Scotty, best advice for someone 18 just started making money, want to make a lot. Nothing wrong with making a lot of money. It's keeping a hold of it that's very important. So there you are. So dinky-do, I say to you. Ollie, of course you can hear the Scottish accent. It's broader than yours. This is the way proper Scots speak. See? So there you are. Northern Ireland, you wouldn't exist without us, says Clanranald. What are you talking about, Clanranald? Northern Ireland exists anyway. So there you are. It is Northern Ireland. Hi, Scotty. It's Rab in Rutherglen. I hope you're well. No bakery today. Started Monday, 5 a.m. You're a late starter for a bakery and for a master baker. I say to you, Frank, my cousin, my wonderful, lovely cousin, was a master baker all his life. And he used to start at 2 o'clock in the morning, unless that's when he got up. No, I don't think so. I think that's when he started. Are you proud to be British? Well, everyone's proud to be British. So there you are. Now, what have we got here? Morning from the Tierra del Fuego. Donny Scott, the land of fire. How lovely to have you with us live from the Tierra del Fuego. Guys, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, please subscribe. Tap the bell to get your notifications because we're on live tonight at 9 o'clock sharp. Have you ever been to Orkney, says Sam? Sam, sadly, that's a luxury I've been denied all my life to date. But I would love to go to Orkney. I just wish there was more than one of me. Taha says, Scottie McClue is patching me. Scottie McClue never patches anyone unless they say something they shouldn't. Ha! Proud to be Scottish. I like the Welsh and the Republic of Ireland, and of course the Northern Irish as well. So there we are. Northern Ireland traitors to the crown, first to fire. British soldier Northern. What are you talking about? I've never seen so much nonsense in all my life. There we are. Paul Glover. How lovely to have you with us from Cornwall. Paul's Cornish. And we welcome everybody from the human race on here. I say to you, what about the Cornish? Paul, we love the Cornish. Yes, a good sword and a trusty hand, a merry heart and true. King James's men shall understand what Cornish lads can do. We learned that in school. A good sword and a trusty hand, a merry heart and true. There you are, you see. I better not do too much in case we get a strike. Stay mega fabulous. You too, Amy. How lovely to hear from you. And dinky-doo. Now, can everybody start tapping their phones? Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap. Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap. Because this is twofold. It tells everybody we're on. And I've got 1,500 likes. Scotty, the UVF fired on British soldiers in a Bombay street, though fortunately no soldiers killed. Well, Clan, we don't want anybody firing on anybody unless there is no alternative. Born in Maryhill in Glasgow, Scotty, Sparky boy. Lovely to have you with us from Maryhill, and being a Maryhill man myself. Up the Argyles, says... is that Clan? Yes, Clan. Up the Argyles, I say. We salute you, sir. Balaclava Company of the Royal Scots. They are the Argyle and Sutherland Highlanders. The thin red line. Ne oblivicaris and song pur. Am I right or am I right? Come on then, Clan, tell us. There we are. It's different shifts every week. The boss telling me my start times. Right, Frank? So why would my cousin be up at 2 in the morning? Can we get a wee tune on the squeeze box? Yes, I see no reason Why not? We're not up for a long time. 3,000 likes, guys. Now, what have we got? Up the Argyles. Some comments in the live were filtered to protect the community's experience. We love it. That means the wee trolls have been booted down the Swanee for cheeking up to Scottie McClue. What's your thoughts on Northern Ireland? Well, let's not go there. Only God will judge me. I have a lot of interesting thoughts. Unless they get working properly at Stormont, I shall go over there and just sit in the Parliament until they all arrive back. What do you think of the bulldog ban here in the UK? Well, I cannot in any way sanction any wild, dangerous, violent dog under any circumstances. But what I will say to you, it is unusual to have an actual violent breed across the whole breed. Now, that's absolutely, accepting the dreadful, terrible things that have happened to thoroughly decent human beings by these dogs, the dangerous dogs. But there is a Dangerous Dogs Act. And I'm a dog man, so I understand the animals very well. I understand most animals. I love the foxes and the wild animals. The badger, they can all be dangerous if they feel threatened. Does anybody remember the great Sir David Attenborough lying with his arm round a silverback gorilla? And the silverback gorilla with his arm round Sir David. And David was talking very quietly, saying, I'm talking quietly because I don't want to upset him. You must be able to find this on YouTube, guys. It's really amazing. But anyway, this was the great Sir David. But what David Attenborough has proved, and what is proven, is any animal treated properly. You see Bear on videos on TikTok and YouTube loving the humans. Now, these guys could just take your head off with the wave of a paw. So what I'm actually saying, guys, only one of you has followed this morning. That's shocking. Here am I sitting up, giving you a bit of information, education, and entertainment, and one of you. People have been too lazy to pop up to the top left and click the plus. Come on, guys. Let's get following. We've had 150 million views on TikTok, and we've only got, I think it's, 28,000 followers or something like that. It's just not right. Something's not adding up. So there we are. So as for banning the dangerous dogs, what we have to say is it inherent in the breed, or is it the kind of people that are taking on a breed that they can't actually handle? So is it purely 100% ownership problems, or is the breed itself excessively wild? Yeah, so there you are. So think about that. There are a whole number of bulldogs. There's the old English bulldog, John Bull. There's, that's not John Bull. In fact, that's just the bulldog is John Bull. The old English bulldog with the sharp face, lovely character. The Staffordshire Bull Terriers. Now, I've known a number of these dogs, and they're very beautiful and very friendly. So we need to have some serious discussion. And that's the great strength and beauty of a show like Scottie McClue. Saturday night, 9 o'clock sharp. We can phone in and discuss these things. In fact, I think we will discuss that tonight. Live on the phone in. I've got 3,600 likes, guys. How beautiful are you guys? Dinky-Doo from David and Kevin in Costa del Paisley. David, how lovely to have you with us from Paisley. So there we go. We love it. There's Rab in Rutherglen. Say no to war, says Sparky Boy. Absolutely. Stay fabulous. Dinky-Doo. Hi, Scotty from Glasgow, says Zach. So there we have it. There's Sparky saying, put Putin and Zelensky in the ring and let them fight it out. Bring back Donald Trump as soon as possible. And he'll put a stop to the whole thing in probably a day or maybe 24 hours. Now, here's AJ saying no one cares. AJ, 8 billion people care passionately. Do you understand? Never, ever, 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 ever say no one cares, because that would make the world a bad place. The world is a beautiful place. There's just a lot of evil in it. I've just done a video to that effect on the TikTok and on the YouTube, guys, so check it out. Check out all of Scottie McClue's videos on TikTok and YouTube. Let me tell some of the people here that were live. I'm just going to go on to the Facebook and let everybody know that we're live right now, guys, because it's very good for people to know. So we'll just say there, Saturday morning. What's the time? Who can tell me the time? I'll probably have it here. Saturday morning. Scottie is live now. Now at YouTube. There we have it. And what is the time? 11 o'clock. Exactly. 11 o'clock. Oh, AM. I'd better put AM because I go live all time. Saturday morning. Scottie is live now at YouTube, 11 AM. I'm just going to click the old Facebook. They've got that now, guys, so they should know. Has everybody followed me? So there you go. Stay fabulous, Dinky-Doo. When are we going to ban the dangerous dogs? Can we do the same to the Tory party? Asks Clan. Clan, naughty boy. Scottie, what's your thoughts on the wilding of Scotland? Well, I love it. I mean, Scotland's always been wild. I used to live away out in the country, out in the wild, and I had my own woodland. Well, I didn't own it, but I could go there and there was hardly anybody else in it. 4,000 likes from everybody going tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap on their phones. That's amazing, guys. We love having you on, and it's lovely to have everybody on the YouTube channel. If you're a TikToker and you haven't looked up the YouTube channel, please do so. The world's top talk show. There we are. Now we got here. Born in the port, lived in Greenock, resided in Gourock. Well, it sounds to me, Bobby, that you've had the best of 3 worlds. So there you go. Being born in the port, what a wonderful place to be born in. The hive of Scotland's industry. There you are. You've lived in Greenock, a branch of the green oak tree myself. You cannot beat it. And you've resided in Gourock, which is just perhaps one of the most wonderful places in the world. I want to see that area repopulated. When I was brought up in Greenock, it was a real hive of activity. Yes, indeed. And of course, you know, it made its money from the sugar being brought in from the West Indies and from the shipping going out to pick up the sugar in the West Indies and bring it back to Greenock for refining. So there you have the sugar plantations. You know, I know it opens up all sorts of historic worries about was that slavery and what have you. But that's kind of how things were done at that time. So there you are. So we need to get Greenock back to full strength. You're live on Scottie's Phone In. Who's that?
Well, Scottie, Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo, Tom. I'm lovely to have you with us on a Saturday morning. You're very kind.
A Saturday morning, Scottie. I suppose you'll be on later on as well.
Yes, I hope so, because we'll be doing the 9 o'clock tonight.
The hour 9 o'clock, yeah. Is this just one of the hour pop-ups, Scottie?
It's just a random pop-up, Tom, to say hi to everybody. I've uploaded a video on the difference between good and evil this morning. And I want everybody to see that as well. And there's so many beautiful videos on YouTube and TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll have to watch it, Scottie.
How will you watch? It's only a minute, Tom. I do a lot of short ones now, and I do a lot of funnies, but I think Scottie McClue would do a lot better if I was very clearly defined. But that would narrow down my style. Does that make sense?
Aye.
You see?
Sorry, I've got someone here who wants to speak to you.
Wonderful.
Hello, Scotty. This is Tom's grandmother, Patricia.
Patricia, how lovely to hear you. This is fabulous. I told Tom, well, no, I didn't tell him. I asked him to say hi to you and pass on my fondest regards. And I thought it would be lovely if Patricia gave us a wee ring sometime. And here you are.
Tom gave you the wee ring.
Well, Tom gave us a wee ring, but you're here to come on for a wee chat.
Yeah, just to say hello and ask you how you are.
Oh, I'm absolutely fine, Patricia. I really am. I'm remarkable for my age, you know.
Well, I couldn't tell your age. You're so young looking, so I'm not going to say.
You're awfully kind. It's so lovely to hear you. Have you had something nice to eat this morning?
Well, I had my breakfast about 6 o'clock.
You're an early riser?
I am indeed.
Yes.
Always was.
How wonderful.
Best part of the day.
My grandmother used to say an hour in the morning's worth 2 in the evening.
Your grandmother was right, because I feel the same way. Thomas helped me to paint the fence, so there was quite a lot of good days this week, so I took it on myself to do it. Some of it, and I left plenty for him to do still.
You are a great lady, and it's a privilege to hear you, and thank you so much.
Well, I'll let you go, Scotty, and I'll talk to you again sometime.
Bless you, and love to you, and love to Belfast. Dinky-Doo.
Yes, and thank you, and good luck to Scotland.
I thank you, my darling. Dinky-Doo.
Right, take care now.
Bless you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Right, Scotty.
What about that, Tom? That was just a wonderful treat for everyone.
I just came down, so I just thought I may as well pass you the phone.
And you'll be getting some work to do.
Oh, the fence, painting the fence,
Well, remember, you can never give offence. You've got to take it.
Okay. He says you can never give offence, you have to take it.
Lovely to hear you, Tom, and we'll catch up later.
Is there much maintenance in McClue Towers? It's supposed to be.
Oh, for goodness sake, you know, gangs and gangs and gangs of artisans. And that's...
You've got some trees out the back there.
Oh, aye, they're big trees, actually, yes. They would cost a bit to take down, I'll tell you.
I'm sure they would,
But they're very old, Tom, you know.
Yeah. I suppose it's nice in the autumn, you know, when the leaves come and, you know.
Well, it's lovely to get the colours, but it takes a bit of clearing up.
It leaves some handful behind for you.
I usually lose a couple of stone clearing up the leaves.
I'm sure.
So there we go, my boy. So good to hear you, and have a lovely day, and don't work too hard, the pair of you.
No,
I think, in fact, I'm just looking at the time here. It's 7 minutes past 11. Now, I think you should say to Grandma Patricia, I think it's time for our 11s. Now, she'll know exactly what that means.
Scotty says it's time for our 11s. She says she's going to have her lunch, Scotty.
A lunchtime? Well, of course, because she's been up for half the day.
No, more longer than I have.
But you're young, Tom, and you're still growing, you know.
Right, Scotty.
Dinky-Doo, la.
Dinky-Doo.
See you, Tom. What a fine fella. That's Tom in Belfast, and he is a loyal Scottie McClue listener, and we have benefited from many a call from Tom. If you're on the TikTok and the YouTube, which you should be now, then please do get looking at the videos, and you'll see Tom very kindly filmed the Mourne Mountains in Ireland. And I have put the soundtrack to it, which is Scottie McClue playing the Mountains of Mourne on the piano. So there's a wee treat for you, I say to you. Hi, Tom, Dinky-Doo. Thank you, Robert. Very good. Everybody interacts on here. It's marvellous. So there we are. Good morning, handsome. Good morning, Faze. Thoughts on introducing bears, wolves, lynx to Scotland? Well, Clan, I love the idea. The last wolf was shot in Speyside, I think, in 1909. And that was, as far as I know, the last wolf. There is a memorial stone to him. And I think that was the last wild wolf. Dinky-Doo, Scotty. Dinky-Doo, Tom. I'm going to send a wee message to Tom here, guys. Dinky-Doo, Tom, and Patricia. There you are. Dinky-Doo, Tom, and Patricia. That's that. We've just sent them a lovely Dinky-Doo over in Northern Ireland there. So introducing the bears to Scotland, yes, I understand. And now any dog can be harmless or dangerous, just how it's been trained. Do you know, Jay Lan? You've made a very, very good point there. Hello, Scotty boy, I'm back. Sammy boy, how lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo, guys, I need another 20 followers. Right now, it's a piece of nonsense that people are watching Scottie McClue on TikTok and haven't followed. Tut, tut, tutty, tut. Examine your conscience, I say. Right, that's the guilt-tripping finish for today. Now, who have we got here? Thank you very much, everybody, for contributing to my live. There's a wee red roses up there. It comes up automatically. Shout out to the Costa del Sol Coats, says Gio. Stay fabulous, Scotty. Dinky-Doo. Do you have a short Vietnamese mistress, Scotty? Not to my knowledge, Sammy, but we might have one or two fans in Vietnam, in which case we shout out, "Good morning, Vietnam." Always wanted to do that, you know. What have we got here? Hello from Portree, Scotty. Do you know, Gary, I'm looking up at Portree right now, and I'm thinking to myself, where is the castle up in the hill? What's in the hill up above the row of houses straight above the pier? So come on, Gary, spill the beans. Have you had any scran yet, says Tom? I'll be having an Ulster fry just when I finish this, Tom. I'll tell you that. What do you think of y'all boys with blue eyes asking for a friend? Sammy, we love the blue eyes. We love all colours of eyes. There we are. Have you ever heard the expression, not too sure about him, eyes a bit close together? Good on you, Scotty. Thinking of an Ulster fry with a couple of double yolkers and some porkers and some soda bread. You see, I think. So there we go. I tell you. Dinky-Doo says Ty. Ty has joined us, Dinky-Doo. Morning, Scotty. How are you today? I was watching and my dad knew who you were just by your voice. Nathan. How amazing is that? So, Nathan, you were watching Scottie McClue on your phone and your dad appeared and said, "Who's that? Is that Scottie McClue?" And you thought, "How did you know that, Dad? Scottie McClue's of our generation, not back in the day." Newsflash, Scottie McClue is of several generations back in the day, I say to you. Guys, we've only got another couple of minutes. What do you think of guys with moustaches wearing bikinis? I'll be quite honest with you, Dave. That's a little luxury I've denied myself up until now. I've yet to meet a guy with a moustache wearing a bikini. Are you sure it's not a lady with a moustache? Because ladies sometimes have a moustache as well. I remember a great auntie of mine had one. You know, absolutely. So there we always remember the sickly burnt sugar smell, says George. What's that, George? Everyone's opinion on the bully dog ban. Scotty, thoughts on an extra 50 million in funding for the monarchy? Well, it's chicken feed. You see, the monarchy is actually us. So, for a second, stick with me and I will explain this because Scottie McClue always explains. Have we got that? Scottie McClue always explains. And that's why everybody should follow me check out the videos. I have no personal agenda. I do this because I love people. I do this because television is very, very poor. I do this because a lot of radio is very, very poor. If you're ever starting a television or radio station, step one, and there's nothing arrogant about this, there's nothing egotistical about this. This is a fact of life. Step one, speak to me. Get in touch with Scottie McClue and say, good morning, Scottie, or good afternoon, Scottie, or good evening, Scottie. My name's William McWhackle, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer, the CEO of X Media, Y Media, J Media, Scottie Media, television, radio. We're in London, we're in Buenos Aires, we're in Rome, we're in Paris, we're in Scotland. Get in touch with Scottie McClue, and I will advise you on how to set up your radio or television station and get it right from the off, right? Now, I'm just telling you that because the number of television and radio stations, I've saved several myself. One I couldn't save, but that was purely because we had a stewardship problem. The wrong person had got involved with the setup, and we had to close that. So there you are. But that's exceptional. Do you see what I mean? So there we have it. So what I would say, hang on, I'll just take this call. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scottie.
Hi, DINKY-DOO.
How are you, Scottie?
I'm very well. Thank you for phoning and thank you for asking.
You're welcome, Scottie. Have a good day, Scottie.
You have a lovely day, DINKY-DOO. Now, that was a young gentleman, but what a top call, actually. He didn't say anything silly. He didn't say anything daft and was very, very, very polite. We like that. So, we were talking about the monarchy, right? Extra 50 million quid. The monarchy brings in about £2 billion to us. And that goes direct to the treasury. The monarchy costs us 167 million. And now they're talking about adding to it. Take the personalities out of it, right? Although Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, you just could not fault that lady. She was 100% beyond reproach. And everybody loved her, regardless of race, creed, religion, background, football team. They all loved the Queen. They all loved Lizzie, as they call her. Now, or Lilibet. Now, these are the figures. So the monarchy are well in credit with the people. Now, you've got to decide, how are we going to have our arrangement? Do we want Parliament, i.e. Rishi Sunak, to run all of Britain and the Commonwealth? Do we want that? Boris Johnson running Britain and the Commonwealth. Liz Truss running Britain and the Commonwealth. Or do we want these people, or with others, Theresa May, David Cameron, the list goes on. But do we want them running everything, Britain and the Commonwealth? All right. What is it, 50 odd countries, 53 countries in the Commonwealth. Anyway, do we want the Prime Minister of the UK running the lot, a political figure with an agenda? All right. Or do we want an apolitical person as curator and custodian of the crown, our symbol of authority? Because every right-thinking country in the world would love to have a monarchy, but they can't see how to go about it. Yeah. Ireland would love a monarchy. Arthur Griffith, that started Sinn Féin, would have loved a monarchy. He wasn't terribly keen on the Hanoverian succession. But now we have King Charles, who has Stuart bloodlines, if you're fussy about that. And we elected our monarch in Scotland in 1320, right? So £50 million. Remember, we frittered 250 billion on Brexit. Remember, the pandemic was 150 billion pounds, with 100 billion going to one company, Big Pharma. All right. So 50 million pounds to maintain the most fabulous setup, the envy of the world. Not too bad, I think. So it was a packet of crisps. That's what the monarchy cost you. A giant bag of snackettes. Brexit's fabulous, Scotty, says John Joe McGonigal. I know you'll wholeheartedly agree. Well, I have to say, John Joe, Europe has not done itself any favours recently, but coming out of Europe has damaged the UK beyond belief. So I have to assume that you are an anti-British person, an anti-UK person for whatever reason. So you do not want to see the UK succeed. You do not want it to be successful. The only reason we had Brexit was, and the poor electorate were worked from the back here, worked from the back, hand right up the back by the Leave campaign, which very highly funded to protect the billionaires and the elites so their money would be safe. Get us out of Europe because they're going to start looking into our affairs. That was the cry of the billionaires. So I would imagine John Joe is a billionaire. Scottie McClue. I don't know if I've got a rhyme for you, baby. Scottie McClue says, "Dinky-Doo to every single one of you. Everybody matters, and you do too." Have you ever heard of Well Park Midkirk? Lovely building. Jay, let me take you back a little bit. The Midkirk is the town kirk. And I was very friendly with a man called Ian McCrory, who was the organist of the Midkirk for many years. I was very friendly with a gentleman called the Reverend Alec Porteous, who was the minister of the Midkirk for many years. Wonderful people. Now, up above the Midkirk, if you go up Bank Street and you go up to the Well Park, there was a huge church there called Well Park, the Well Park Church, because there was a well in the park. And the Well Park was the absolute centre of Greenock. The original mansion house owned by the Shaw Stewarts was in the Well Park. And Regent Street would have been overlooking. And what else have you got there? You've got Lindach Street. Have I got that right? And Regent Street. And you've got, going up from Regent Street, you've got, oh, don't tell me. I can remember the bakery was there, lovely, lovely bakery there. And you've got the Mearns Street and all that. So not just have I heard of the Midkirk, but if you go further up, you will see where the Well Park Church was. I think it had to be taken down. It was a huge church. Greenock was stuffed with churches. It was a very, 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 very Christian place. And even in the 1960s, 1970s, on a Sunday morning, people would be rushing to church in their Sunday best, wearing kilts and Sunday frocks and what have you. That was just the guys. And the bells would be ringing. So you had several bells. So let me see if I could name you a few Greenock churches. Cartsburn, Augustine, St. Lawrence's, which was bombed during the war, right at the back there. Orangefield, St. Columba's, now the carpet shop at Grey Place. That was St. Columba's. The Gallic Parish Church, the Old West Kirk, Well Park, the Mid Kirk, Finnart Church, St. Paul's Church, St. Andrew's, opposite Glen Park, the cricket ground, Trinity Church, I think became Trinity St. Andrews on Union Street, the Union Church at George Square, St. George's, huge church, still there, I believe, George Square, the Seceders Church, the West Kirk, yes, the West Kirk at the end of Brisbane Street. Where else have we got? St. Mark's Church, St. Mark's Green Bank. How am I doing? Martyrs and North Church, down at, was it West Bond Street? Martyrs and North. Then, of course, the Old West Kirk was originally in Dalrymple Street, where Tesco's is now, and it was Caird's Shipyard and Harland and Wolff. I think they only built one ship. So how about that for churches in Greenock, guys? Did I do well? There'll be more. There'll be more. More will come back to me, I say to you. Orangefield Baptist Church. There we are. The Coya Church in Greenock, up at the West Station. Tremendous. So there's a fair number of churches just to get you started. More followers, please. You're watching Scottie McClue. We are, of course, live on the big one. Can we get a wee tune before you go? Will you be back tonight? Scottie has all the money, says Mr. Martin. Yes, I'm hanging on to trillions and trillions of pounds because I want to buy more than one suit. I mean, have you ever heard anything so ridiculous? These poor souls calling themselves elites, they'll find that they own nothing. They can only curate it. And are they working for the good of the people? You see, your very, very, very wealthy people in the past used to look after the people. You look at Andrew Carnegie. Now, he was a tough guy, but he was an ordinary guy from Dunfermline, Carnegie Park. And when he went to Pittsburgh and ran the American steel industry, he gave money for libraries in Scotland, the Carnegie Libraries. Skibo Castle was his Scottish house. Incredible. He understood that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. He understood that. And that's the message we need to get to these elites nowadays. If you want to be thought of as a proper person, as a thoroughly decent human being, not as some sort of narcissistic, psychopathic person, then start giving money for the good of the people. Start off with feeding the children. Start off with increasing the population because the world is tiny. Start off with getting the right people in power who represent the people and not some unelected, voiceless cartel. So start thinking properly for the future of the world. Leave the world a better place for your having been in it, because you won't be in it long. Then you will have to face the music in eternity. Those of us who have looked after the world, we will be absolutely fine in eternity. We will be allowed to reincarnate and come back and dwell amongst our loved ones. But if you are a baddie and evil, and you've been thieving and stealing and trying to flummox and being a deceiver, then you will have a very, very, very challenging time when the trumpet shall sound and judgment day will happen. And trust me, I've spent my life looking at this, talking about this, reading up on this, and I can tell you that I know my stuff and it will happen. So there you have it. Wake up and live, says Mr. Martin. Absolutely. Wakey, wakey, world. There we go. Stop dreaming, Scotty, says Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, we're far from dreaming. This is a reality. Everything else that stuffs your head with nonsense, Mr. Martin, is the dream. Have we all got that? So there you go. So that's the truth of it. As my dear late great father would say, you can only wear one suit. Scotty voted Brexit, says John Joe. John, we know you voted Brexit. Now you are responsible for the way we are now. You are responsible for the economic annihilation of the United Kingdom and our economy, and you are responsible for the fragmentation of the UK. That's why Northern Ireland and Scotland and Wales want to go their separate ways. There we are. Fantastic. Are you going to be watching the Rangers match today? I might, Maya. I shall see. Maya or Mia. There we are. We shall see what happens. Now, who have we got here? Can you say hello to my friend Kingston? I can, Sammy. Scotty, what do you think about the Irish potato famine? Well, 1841, the blight. That could have been sorted by introducing other varieties of potatoes. But there was a lot of miscommunication about the Irish potato famine. And it's a tragedy. It's like the Highland clearances, a tragedy. There were probably maybe even more evil people around then than there are now. I think the evil people are having to identify themselves now. I climbed the mountains of Mourne, says John Joe. Well, there you are, you see. The price of chips went up. Absolutely, Mr. Martin. That was Brexit. Put the chips up. And the fish. I think you're about, used to be £5 for a fish supper at its height. Now I think it's 9. Scotty, did you know Glasgow is green and white? Glasgow is multicoloured. It is very green. It's the dear green place. And it's also multicoloured. It's got red, white, and blue in it. And I'm trying to think which colour stands out the most. It's also got orange and green. Did you know that? Glasgow's orange and green. Do you remember the Corpy buses in Glasgow? Orange and green. Dinky-Doo, everybody. My father often comes away with the saying, away and boil your head. So funny. Well, I think it's the days when we used to eat sheep's heads regularly for lunch. There's John saying the SNP are dead, Scotty. Apparently not. I think you've probably got that 100% wrong. Apparently they're more popular than ever now. And at the next election, it will be for independence. So there you go. Lol, says everybody. Flower of Scotland, says Dave. A very nice wee folk tune, Dave. but of course not the Scottish national anthem, which is God Save the King. And I think if any Scots fail to sing God Save the King, then they should be banned from the games, and anybody booing should be fined. So there you are. There, that would be far better. Looking at that. Oh, what have you got? DINKY-DOO. I love the Pope, says Dave. Dave, I think everyone loves the Pope. You know, you can't not. So there we have it. Rishi is my king, says Enan. Well, yes, but would you like to see him in charge of the whole lot? I ask you. There we are. I agree, my lord. So there we are. This man was one of the best on radio ever, says Alan. Absolutely. Let's get rid of Air. Air shouldn't really be on here. Too intelligent people on here for Air. Poor Air. Air has an IQ of 1. Bye-bye, Air. Can everyone shout bye-bye, Air? Have a nice life. That's the end of Air. We already said it was boring, so let's get rid of him. Are you a Christian, Scotty? I'm a universalist. So there we are. I look at all the world's great religions. Think, my goodness me, how amazing is that? I remember when fish and chips, if fish was 8p, chips 4p. That would be a fish supper for a shilling, Mr. Martin. How old are you? What's the crest above the picture? That's the finest school in the world. Well, I might make it the second finest school because I've actually worked at the finest school in the world. So there we go. Poor Air's away. He can bore himself all day now. We love it. There we are. This man is a national legend, says Warren. Yes, thank you, Warren. Apparently, I'm an international legend, and 2 billion people have heard of me. Is that not just amazing? What's the furthest back you can go for the price of a fish supper, folks? He's not my Pope. I'm not Catholic. Everyone's Catholic, Angela. Everyone is Catholic. Because Catholic just means universal. What you mean is you're not Roman Catholic. But he's still your Pope because he's the only one there is. So if you didn't have him as your Pope, you would have to try and live your life without a Pope. You know? And how would you do that? Bye-bye, Air. So there we are. Bye-bye, everybody. What was the school you watched? It was very, 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 very famous. There we are. I was born when Clement Attlee was the boss. Well, if I'm not much mistaken, Mr. Martin, Clement Attlee was the boss in 1945. Is that right? And he was in during the Clement Attlee. He was a public school boy. He was a Haileybury man, the same as the late great Peter Townsend that was in love with Princess Margaret, the late Princess Margaret. He was a Haileybury man, Clem, and I think Clem, somebody told Clem's wife to drive him to the palace now before Hugh Gaitskell was decided as Prime Minister. And that was apparently a true story. So there you are. The Pope for us all. There you go, Sir Dave. Absolutely everybody's Pope. What does... I can't see that. He doesn't do anything for us. Who doesn't do anything for us? Clement Attlee. Clement Attlee is no longer with us. So King George VI was on the throne. Well, he passed away in February 1952. So you were round about before that. And then Churchill got in again after the war. Churchill was still in politics when he was 80. They had a bit of a job getting him out. And he resigned on the 5th of April 1955. He had her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, His late Royal Highness the Prince Philip. Churchill had dinner with them at 10 Downing Street the night before he resigned. So there you are. Walk with me, oh my lord, I shall do. His Scottie mate is a legend. Everybody listened to him. Well, in central Scotland, just 250,000 per half hour. Bobbies were friendly then. Yes, you could speak to a policeman. And they didn't have any body armour, any tasers, any spice for your face. What's that called again? Any eye spray. They didn't have long batons. They just had their shirt and tie and a whistle and a wee baton. Didn't Princess Margaret marry Lord Snowdon? She did. She married Anthony Armstrong Jones, latterly Lord Snowdon, and I think his father was a High Court judge. And she married him in 1960. But before that, she had an intense, deeply loving relationship with Group Captain Townsend, who was her father's equerry. So there you are, you see. And he got banished. The royal protocol wouldn't actually allow her to marry him because he was a divorcee. And had he married her, she would have had to lose her royal privileges. So they condoned her to a lifetime of unhappiness for not being allowed to marry the man that she absolutely adored. And I'm not saying she didn't love and adore Lord Snowdon as well, but there you are. But he came along later in the day. He was a society photographer, Lord Snowdon. A bit of a character, actually. Now, who else have we got? Guys, we're going to have to dash. We're out of time. I don't think we've time for a tune. You know your history, Scotty. Oh, Tom, you must. You have to have the knowledge if you're going to go live and teach not just one nation, but all nations about their history and reality and truth. There we are. Fantastic. Guys, thank you for following. We could do with another dozen followers. That would be amazing if you can all get following. If you're watching right now, we're going to have to dash off. But stay fabulous, every single one of you. Thank you for watching. Remember, you are beautiful people. Love being you. It's a great thing to be. Watch all the Scottie McClue videos on both TikTok and YouTube. YouTube is just the world's top talk show on YouTube. So get yourselves into there. DINKY-DOO Scotty, DINKY-DOO Tom, DINKY-DOO everybody. When will you be live again? Warren, tonight at 9 o'clock sharp, UK time. Be there or be square, I say, and tell everyone. DINKY-DOO everybody, and ta-ra-la. Stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Here we go. Ta-ta. Isn't that beautiful? And to our lovely, lovely, lovely YouTubers. Thank you, YouTubers, not YouTubers. YouTubers, thank you so much for being with us. Been a wonderful, wonderful morning. I hope you'll join us tonight at 9 o'clock sharp, and I shall see you then. Until then, DINKY-DOO. Tongues out. Ta-ta. Once more, now's your chance. After two. Ta-ta. Ta-ta.